We decided to start with this picture initially because even though it is a lamentation, it is the moment where Christ has been taken down from the cross, it sort of occurs in Ribera, in a sort of a composition that is out of time. If you see the background is completely blacked out, and the figures are pushed right to the very foreground of the picture plane. And we don't actually know what this painting functioned as, but if you start looking at it, the way the figures are positioned around the space in the long kind of horizontal format, it lends itself to something that might be a personal altarpiece, so an altarpiece for a private chapel. And it may well have belonged to one particular man called Marcantonio Doria. And so when you think about how one would have encountered this painting initially in a darkened space without electric lighting, I should say, it affects how you might read the painting and how you might read the gestures of the figures within it. So if we imagine this hung at a particular height like this on an altar, we start seeing Christ's body as on an altar tomb, and Mary kneeling at his feet. We start to take up that very position that she has.
Actually, Jenny, something I've only just noticed with the three of us here, we are the same scale as the figures.
Yes,
our heads are exactly the same size as these heads. We are taking part in this lamentation. And the way that Mary is looking at his feet, look at that wound, for heaven's sake. It's still wet and suffocating. It's as if she's about to kiss it, as if she's in some kind of trance that she can't believe this man is dead. The love is still there. Peter, does this fit with your understanding of Mary?
Well, the painting is, as you said, Jen, just takes you into deep space. Mm-hmm. You're in the cave of the heart. You're in a place that's already a kind of tomb, and you're in an underground secret place, and the contrast of the two men and the two women is so vivid, because you have John, quietly being the beloved, just support, with this literally. Gentle, beautiful, gentle way, the touch is so delicate and so loving, and the expression. The other kiss is going on right up there, Colin. It's just so moving. And then in the middle, you have Mary as a pregnant woman. You have this just incredible sense of this volume as she's crouching, and this outpouring of grief of a mother, but also that in some way she's giving birth a second time. And there's this incredible sense that, okay, this is the end of something, but it's also another birth that's on the way. And you have this woman giving birth right there and clutching her hands, also to, the strength of trying to push. And so it has this, incredible double meaning, and the depth of her grief, of course, is so overwhelming. But we start the Gospel according to Other Mary with the verse from Isaiah of howl ye, the sense of the nightmare of the world, but as a woman in pain, as a woman that travaileth, that the worst times are also the birth of something new. And so this birth out of this terrifying situation, but the freshness and cleanness of the body. The wound is vivid, but the body has this newness also that is immaculate and fresh and coming towards you, and you really want to touch it. And I think the Mary for me is I'm just saying, no, wait, that's a pre-Raphaelite painting. I can't put that in the 17th century. That is 1860. The detail of the red hair, the fineness of rendering. These other figures are rendered in shadow and rendered as something flickering in a pale light. But she is suddenly in hyperreal. Every single hair is lovingly, carefully rendered as she's, and of course the color, the red, is just has this imminence that is coming forward to you. And as you've said, Colin, I think not only do we feel the intensity of the wound, but the physical. Mary was always, one of the things I'm obsessed with this feminine spirituality, which is not in the mind, it's in the body. You know, and men are always writing, you know, things that have to be metaphysical because it's a mental thing. And the women always have a way in which the belief, the love, the care, and the transformation is in the body.
It's felt.
It's felt. It's
Yes.
right there. You carried Jesus in your womb. Or you love every limb. And I think it's the Mary Magdalene tradition in the Bach Passions, for example. She sings to Jesus' limbs because of the physical relationship with Jesus. And what she loves, she says, you poor tired limbs. And she's constantly singing to the limbs. And so the idea that you approach Jesus through the body,
Yes.
rather than just through the head, St. John is the, triumph of metaphysics, but you also have this incredible entrance through the wound. And that as Rumi says, the wound is where the light enters. And so actually it is at the wound that we enter our relationship with Jesus.
Precisely.
And it's through the limbs, and it's with that quality of touch, which gets us to another question that we'll come to with Titian, but what it means to touch and be touched is so profound at this moment. And as you said, being on the cusp of a kiss, that sense of a suspended moment, Colin, where time is just hovering.
And that's what this picture does.